questions. And our moderator is going to be Olga Trofimova, cluster manager from Ukrainian Automotive and Mobility Cluster. I will shortly pass the stage to her. I just want to introduce shortly our speakers. We will have Ukrainian Logistics Alliance presidents, Edwin Persons. We will have project manager and head of export sales from Spezek Limited from Ukraine. Online, Maria Chebyseva. And then we will have Maxim Anisimov, deputy director of development from VD Mais Ukraine. And we will have Alexander Yushak, CEO of Association of Industrial Automation of Ukraine and head of Ukrainian Cluster Alliance. We will have Nadia Shaban, HR Director of Leoni. We will have Martin Gobal, Commercial Plant Manager from Kronberg and Schubert. Thank you very much. The stage is yours.
Thank you very much. I would like to start short presentation about our cluster, and definitely then I would like to give the floor to our panelists, which I respect a lot, and which I would like to share their things, their thoughts, and their presentation. But the main message I would like to say to all of you that we are definitely would like to survive. We would like to have working economy, and we, as an active part of economic front, we really faced with such problems which are started from February this year. But we do have capacities, and we do have high competence of our companies, because they already supply for such a great companies which you see. And definitely those suppliers, very respective companies, are right now with us, and I will give them the floor. As you see, actually, historically, the biggest players and key players of automotive industry in Ukraine are based in the western part of Ukraine, and some of them are still in the central or eastern part and trying to survive and trying to move forward, actually. As for the statistics, very short, I know that you're maybe boring with all this presentation, but Ukraine is really have automotive industry, and Ukraine really has this 60,000 employees, which are working only for foreign automotive industry, but we do have also a Ukrainian automotive industry. That is why I invited two companies which represents the best automotive companies with foreign investments, and two best automotive companies which represents fully Ukrainian companies. And definitely we are strong, and I would like you to hear their stories, to hear how they survive and how they move forward. So I would like to give the floor to Nadia Shaban, who is HR Director of Leoni company, well-known company, who has 6,000 employees in Ukraine. And the company in Ukraine is already exists for 20 years. Nadia, please describe which challenges you had from the beginning of the war and how you managed to solve it. Thank you.
The screen at first. Am I sharing?
Yes.
Fine. Good afternoon. We are from Ukraine. This is a typical now words from Ukrainians that you can hear every day. I'm happy to present today Ukraine, and my name is Nadia Shaban. I'm a HR director at Leoni production plant, which is the part of international company Leoni AG. As we are also a member of the automotive cluster, I was asked by Olga to share with you our success story. How did we manage to continue in this difficult time for Ukraine? as was mentioned by Olga. So let me share with you how did we, the story of our recovery. So 21st of February for all of us was a shock as for each and every Ukrainian. And for sure, we relieve and send home all our employees to give them possibility to take care of their families. And in the meantime, the management team were not stopping for even for a day. Every day we were coming together to think over how can we move further. What should we do? What should be our next steps? Because it's difficult to plan far away. So we were thinking about the next day. And in this time, starting from 21st of February, we were preparing the safe conditions at first for our employees, and then thinking how can we recover. We receive a solid support from our board members, the OAG, and with the help of them having an everyday meeting on a daily basis with the task force team, in the team which includes the higher level management of the company, we were preparing the restart of production. On meantime, on the 2nd of March, our female Ukrainian employees received the possibility to also to move with their children to Romanian plants. Because we also have plants in Romania.
Thank you very much, Nadia. And it's really, really important for us, for all of us, for all Ukrainians to hear your story and to share it to the whole world. Thank you so much. Martin, may I ask you also to take the floor, and I would like to introduce you. It's a big honor that our member of our cluster, Martin Goebel, Commercial Management Director of two production plants, Kronberg and Schubert in Ukraine, which also operates in Ukraine for 15 years and also supplied to many countries and to many brands, which I showed you already, also joined us and also would like to share his story. Please, Martin, floor is yours. Thank you so much, Martin. Thank you so much for your efforts, and thank you so much that you stay in Ukraine and you stand with Ukraine. Thank you so much, Martin. Thank you so much that you stay in Ukraine and that you stand with Ukraine. Really, really, it's very important for all of us. So, Maria Chebysheва, I would like to introduce you and your company, Spetstechosnastka. It's one of the first independent automotive company in Ukraine, which this year celebrates 33 years old, and which really has zero foreign investments and supply to Mercedes, BMW, Volkswagen, and even Bentley, and other famous brands. Maria Chebysheva, please, floor is yours. Thank you very much, Maxim, for inspiring speech. And really, I would like to add from my side that our Ukrainian automotive cluster is really working on promoting our Ukrainian business to all over the world, to show all the world that it is possible, and it is actually big opportunity also for the whole world to make production in Ukraine, to make orders, to place orders in Ukrainian companies. We are capable, we are definitely competent, and we definitely could be your reliable partners. So actually Ukraine, even preceding the equation of Alfred Prowse, yes, even if this sector is not priority right now. So definitely it will survive, and definitely we will work further. And automotive sector is definitely kind of barometer of any economy of any country. And we really would like to invite more automotive companies to Ukraine and invite more partners to Ukraine in automotive industry, because exactly automotive industry as a peak of industriality and management system and many other developments definitely will lead us forward and will give us opportunity to move forward. That is why our Ukrainian automotive and mobility cluster really have such a goals and missions, and to be a reliable partner in automotive industry for the whole world. So I just want to mention also that we also a member and even establisher of European Automotive Cluster Network. And from the beginning of the war, Automotive Cluster Network really support us a lot, and we had a lot of common events and other things. But I would like right now to give the floor to our another speaker, because many questions which we faced at the beginning of the war, it concerns logistics, and that is why our next speaker, Edwin Berzins, will explain us about logistic issues and challenges in Ukraine.
Thank you very much, Olga. I come closer to you. It's very tough always after lunchtime, actually, to the first session. And yes, my name is Edwin Berzins. I'm originally from Latvia, from European Union, but the last 2 years I work in Ukraine, and right now I represent Ukraine Logistics Alliance. As yesterday all speakers actually mentioned, and also today, the war changed everything, also in logistics. And we are speak a lot about investments, about how companies working right now, how they are actually try to do everything, but unfortunately, one of the main questions today, how all these products, services can deliver to customer, or actually receive actually equipment for producing as such. And I just, it's very tough in the 5 minutes actually to give all problems what we have right now, but I try to actually just strengthening in some of them. Just one figure, actually last year, 150 million tons actually exported from the Black Sea regions. Yes, you can imagine how many is it right now. Also yesterday, everybody mentioned that these actually borders are closed right now. It means that only way how Ukraine companies can export is just actually through the borders, actually European borders or borders that Ukraine have with their neighbors. But I'll be very honest, our neighbors, it's not ready for such amount of actually cargo as such. Why I'm saying this 150 million tons? Because if we turn this 150 million tons to border to also the ports, to the, for example, the Baltic Sea, actually it's a really huge amount. Today we see there's a shortage of infrastructure, shortage of capacity, and we should look to the situations, what we should do right now, what we should act right now, and what we should actually do for tomorrow. And why I'm telling this, because if investors looking to invest also Ukraine, one of the main point, it's again logistics or transportation. And for sure, every investor looking to this, and he should be aware that it's possible to deliver all products to the end customer or receive materials for it. Right now, if we're looking to borders Ukraine and, for example, European Union, the queue of auto and also the rail, actually it's very huge. For example, today there is around 35,000 wagons waiting for actually reloading to European Union. Actually, the waiting time, it means it's around 30 days. You can imagine how many it costs also from an investment point of view. On this sense, I see that for sure Ukraine companies actually and logistics companies, expeditors, forwarding, doing a lot by ourselves, trying to find the good partners abroad, finding totally new logistics actually routes as such. And what I see from the numbers, actually it's again numbers, actually they succeed in it. But it's again, one, what I also support for it, dry ports at the borders with Ukraine. It's already last 2 years, actually many companies, private companies already building up these dry ports, which means that at the border we have good hub. Maybe for audience, I would like to say there is some problems also for these terminals. There is actually, you looking for example to railway, in Ukraine, one train actually consists of 57 wagons. It might be 3,000 tons, also 5,000 tons in the one train. If we go into European, it's just, it depends on country, it depends on situation, but just 1,000. You can imagine it means that from the one train actually there will be the 3 trains. And also, if we look from the gauge size, we know very well that in Ukraine 1520 millimeter gauge is wider as in European Union have right now. And one of the long perspective, or actually perspective for the future, actually it's really building the European Union gauge, for example, till the Lvov, because it helps really connect with infrastructure Ukraine with European Union, also with the Baltics when we will be ready the robotic project as such, and then for the future we might deliver as many as possible tons. But it's again, if we look into facts, there was many questions about grain. I calculate what's the possibilities for terminals or ports in all Baltic states, also in Poland. It's just around 20 million. Actually, it's something, but it's nothing if you compare how many tons actually we have in Ukraine right now. And we should deliver all this grain to customer as such. And for this, also should be actually for my understanding, some decision also from European and from European Commission actually to build up the temporary warehouses at the border, because right now everybody understand we need actually delivered from Ukraine as many as possible. Also the grain, sunflowers, what actually speakers discussed previously. And then afterwards, then already slowly we can actually deliver to the ports and deliver to the customers. Because still shortage of wagons, shortage of automotives, shortage of locomotives as such, it's right now. But if you actually today trying to offer it or trying to produce, it will be just in 3 years it's ready. But we should act today. It's again what I say also, we should ask also the Turkish colleagues actually help with us, because I know there is a good producers, there is a wagons which can actually use for actually European Union gauge side. Why I'm talking maybe also about European Union. We are talking on supply chain, because if you are customer, you can actually solve every questions in Ukraine till the border, but then you need actually also all problems to solve in European side and also to the ports and also to the customers. I'll be finished, yes. Yes, I'll be very short. Just one more point. We as a Ukraine Logistics Alliance try to support our members and not only members actually to put all market players together for setting up the real chain point to point. Thank you very much, and actually once more we should act today, but not just talking, but actually after in these minutes actually step by step actually setting all up and solving all these questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. Definitely logistics is really a crucial point, and definitely when we make a decision we should take all facts into consideration to make a proper decision. So I would like also to give the floor to Alexander, who will tell you a bit about not only about our Ukrainian Cluster Alliance, which are also active member of, but also about other initiatives and how to support our companies with the existing platforms.
Thanks, Olga. I'm not a big expert specialist in logistics, but I would like to share with you our experience in Ukrainian Cluster Alliance regarding supply chain and logistic issue. So as I said this morning, that logistic in our, let's say, rating is on the second place after taking order, and we had a lot of demand from our cluster about how to cope with logistic, because at the beginning, especially early March, it was also complicated by government decision about so-called list of critical import goods and so on. So the situation was really very tough in March. And as far as we have a lot of cluster, different industries, so we were really very concerned of this topic, and we tried to resolve it by grouping just our expert in different working group, and also using many available tools from European Union, like digital platform. I will talk about a few of them. So we created, with the help of European Cluster Alliance, so-called marketplace, where our clusters and their members could put all demand, and from the side of cluster of European Union, we expected some proposal offers. And you see also the window of logistic, because the logistic was really crucial at the beginning, and everybody from European Union asked us how to cope with logistic, because it was clear that, well, even for humanitarian aid, it is a problem. So we prepared our experts some. It was our first position paper where we produced this policy paper about current state, possibility, and solution, where we collected all information to our colleagues how to cope with that, with exact contact of logistic operator with some solution and so on. And of course, we tried to produce some solution internally. Here is just a screenshot from different operator logistics. There are many of them proposing different solution. Also some different marketplace for, especially for cargo. So this is, I will mention later a bit. So, and also we try to use the typical solution for cluster like matchmaking. If there is any kind of demand, we can find proposals, but this is the role of cluster to do this matching, yeah, between demand and proposal. And this is really role that somebody was mentioned this morning about platform. Well, we are proud of our IT community, and there is a lot of different tools every year in Ukraine, and just in the area of logistics and purchasing, we have more than 10 different platforms resolving different issues. And of course, we use also a platform of, as I mentioned, European Cluster Collaboration Platform, B2B Match, it's a European Enterprise Network, and so on. So there is a number of digital tools we can use for matchmaking, including logistic and supply chain issue. Maybe you know these new tools, relatively new. It's Ukraine Solidarity Lane. It's how to move food products, especially grain from Ukraine, yeah, because Black Sea is blocked. So, and typically such tools propose just matching that. For example, the port in Poland and the Ukrainian manufacturing of grain, they resolve these some problems themselves. But unfortunately, it doesn't work as, let's say, itself. It needs much more support. Anyway, this is such tools like B2B matchmaking platform are really useful for let's say for initial contact, for matching, to find a good partner, and sometimes they can resolve a situation or issue with supply chain. But anyway, even here on figures, you see that number of from Ukrainian side and from other countries. So, well, there was told many times today that we need more international support, and this is just example. Yeah, we don't see too much participants from other country, and this is the same situation we had on marketplace on ECCP, European Cluster Collaboration Platform. So we have also some internal tools just for Ukrainian participant in our cluster alliance, just to match different kind of demand. Yeah, it can be not just about logistic, but also about fundraising, about relocation, and so on. So I just our time is limited, so I finish. So our experience, let's say, with using digital platform for a supply value chain issue is so that well, there may be too many or really many platforms which in this area, but there is no a universal platform. Typically, many platforms are very dedicated to resolve different issues. Well, business, of course, try to use maximum these tools like digital platform, but well, my opinion is that we are at the limit of these tools of digitalization. In fact, the true solution, maybe I agree with Edwin that solution should be found as rather the level of political issue, because it's rather a decision from government and from a decision from European Union and Ukraine with regards to custom corridor, technical limitation, and so on. It's briefly about our experience. Thanks, Olga. And by the way, You are today have birthday, so thanks for your job, and let's applaud this to Olga for yeah.
Thank you so much. Actually, this forum, it was a big opportunity to meet Alexander in life, because we collaborate from the beginning of the war every day with UCCP platform and with all other activities, but we never saw each other. So thank you for all our organizers. Thank you for Tristan. I'm sure without you it wouldn't be possible. Thank you for ITC. It wouldn't be possible without at all. So just to finalize, again, the position which we would like to show to the whole world. Please, we need your support in our internationalization. We don't want begging. We want to collaborate. We want to be your partners. We want to work, and our people want to work. So this is our position, and we would like you to hear it. And at the end, I just want to show you small example, small territory which is now in a safety position, right, near to the border of Slovakia and Hungary. And it's also our active member who has actually OEM, the only one OEM right now in Ukraine. It's licensed Skoda. And we also are looking forward for new OEMs which will come to Ukraine and really help us and support us to move forward. Because we know if OEM will come to Ukraine, definitely all suppliers, tier 1, tier 2 suppliers will come. So short movie at the end, and I will give the floor to another section. So this is exactly an example of one of industrial parks, which we have a lot actually in Ukraine, and this one is in the border of Hungary and Slovakia, which is operated already and looking forward for new automotive and industrial companies to come. You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Olga, and thank you very much. So we will be passing on to our next panel. I want to say once again, thank you very much to Mr. Parsons and Mr. Yurshak